decided to study aging because aging is an unresolved problem in biology and an unresolved problem for human health. All of us are aging, all our lives. Aging is a constant process that is with us, but we understand so little of it. And it is key for human health to understand aging. That's why I decided to devote my scientific research to understanding the biology of aging in order to promote human health.
My personal story, I have parents who are now 86 and they will live hopefully for until 120. And when I accompany them to the doctor, most often I hear the doctor says, "What do you want? He is 86. You want him to behave like he was 40." And I know that it is possible. But the medicine currently has this approach that aging is a fatality and you have to age and you have to suffer. And I think that we could imagine a more holistic way to target that these diseases that are associated with aging and not take it as a fatality.
I am in my 60s now. 5 years ago, I started realizing, even without looking at the data that we have today, that I'm getting older and some disease is going to befall me. Well, I just need to prepare for when this disease comes, whatever it is, so I can go read about it. And I need to go back to study biology, so I went back online to study what I needed to know. We don't have to wait for the disease. There are these damage types. He identified 7 of them, 7 deadly things that we can define and treat. This way, if we fix the damage, we can stave off the disease and stay biologically young.
I was really thinking a lot about it and understood that I actually can contribute to aging as well. It's, in my opinion, the most important industry for the advancement of our species.
As you've noticed, it's a longevity. It's not an anti-aging conference, and I like the direction where it goes. And now we need to focus on the diseases themselves. What is this that we want to prevent or rescue in terms of human beings, and then develop appropriate drugs to that.
We found a mechanism by which we can enhance the DNA repair capacities. And DNA repair is enormously important for our lives and for our health as humans, because DNA damage occurs all the time in every cell in our body. And it accumulates as we age and leads to the dysfunction of cells, cell death, senescence. All these pathologies of aging are driven causally by the accumulation of genome damage. And we have for the first time identified a master regulator of DNA repair, that with which we can now enhance DNA repair, make DNA repair better, and we hope that with that we can develop therapies of the future where we can actually target the aging process as its very root cause, enhancing genome stability and preventing disease.
The partnership, the work group now at the moment is composed by the university in Sassari and Cagliari. They have 2 universities, they are involved in this scientific research. They have a data bank, they have the DNA of diseases, just to understand macrobiotic, all the matters relatives, why these ancients live so long.
We went into a cell therapy approach and a mitochondrial approach, mimicking what happened in evolution when this beautiful bacteria entered into the cells and became our mitochondria that produce most of the energy. We actually took these very natural events that happened and we try to mimic now in the lab. And I spoke about our use of mitochondria from what we call the fountain of youth, the placenta, the healthiest, the youngest organ in the body that is actually thrown away, it's not used. Using that to produce mitochondria and to rejuvenate. First product is the immune system or the hematopoietic system.
I'm interested in the biology of the blood vessels. I consider the blood vessels not only as the tubes that bring the blood to all the organ in our body, but also a kind of tree of life, which supports not only by bringing the blood, but also by secreting by itself factors that are important for homeostasis of the organ, but also the regeneration of the organ. And I think that aging is about losing these two things. You cannot maintain the homeostasis of your cells, and you lose the capacity to regenerate your injured organs. That's why I chose to focus now my research on how the blood vessels impact the aging of the organ they support.
From many talks of this conference, we have recognized that aging is very complicated process. That's why we are thinking that only combinational approach could help us to achieve healthy longevity, and we need to combine approaching different targets related to aging, different processes related to aging.
A change is coming. You can win it in the right direction. You can ask it not to call, but change is coming.
My name is Dr. Ilya Stambler. I'm chairman of the VETEC Association, which is translated as Seniority, the Movement for Longevity and Quality of Life, that is organized this conference, Longevity Nation, here in Bar-Ilan University. We are pretty proud about this conference. We hope this conference will help advance healthy longevity research, development and education, not just in Israel, but internationally. We hope this will be the first conference that will start a series of conferences, hopefully annually.
Speaker that touched my heart was Rafi's son, Yuval Eitan, which is a guest of honors for us today.
Even the same day that he died, he was full of energy. In a naive way, he wanted to conquer death. He wanted to achieve better quality of life. And he believed that medicine or research could give a better life to the elders.
We all loved Rafi, that has a huge contribution, was the founder of this association.
What I like about this conference is for the first time I hear about the other side of the science, which is the politics that can help us to have more fundings, because this kind of research is extremely expensive.
A few years ago I saw founders that are very young that decided to do some venture before they go to the serious stuff. Now we can see people that are already made some exits or are more mature and decided to do something for humanity and do something that will leave a mark. And we see that the companies are more mature in the best quality that we can find. That Israel really can promote things to the world and lead age tech out of here.
The key is to get more interest for this topic through conferences like this, through coverage, through media appearances, just to get people interested, get them learn about this topic, and from that also start actual practical projects in research, in development and education. So I'm hoping that will be a good contribution to making a push toward this movement.
We need support. So I know that there are many fans of longevity in the world. This is the time. The past 2 or 3 years was bad for us, and now it's the time to push forward, give us support, give funds, talk to your politicians, help science, because science is the only way to promote longevity, and we need all of you.
Conferences like that are very important because they physically bring people together, which makes it much easier to build something together, to collaborate.
Beautiful specialists, beautiful people from many universities, many companies that are doing the best work in the world.
Being with people like me that are really mission-driven and driven by a purpose, it's always exciting. Being in Israel is even more exciting, and I think seeing technologies being developed here and gaining interest from international people, that's amazing to me.
Well, this is a fantastic conference to share ideas and progress in many parts of the world. We have had people speaking from many countries today and even more tomorrow.
We want to connect the world together. We want to connect the industry, we want to connect scientists. We believe deeply in our heart that curing aging in many ways is possible, and not only possible but necessary. In Israel, at least, hundreds of thousands of third age population that are not being well, and we should all take measures to stop it now as soon as we can.
Thank and we're grateful to our sponsors, Shlomo Tiran Foundation and Deep Knowledge and Quadrascope and all the 25 organizations who supported us. So I think the most exciting part of the conference is this first part. We actually brought the actual support for this conference together and expressed our gratitude.
Aging is not inevitable, and this message is very hard to deliver to the public.
There are so many companies, there's so much we can do, even with a little bit of money to jumpstart this industry and keep it going.
Missions for me for this conference just to remind even to myself and to others that we are all together and we are not alone in this fight.
We have to do something. We live longer, and that's great, but we have to improve the healthy aging, the quality of life, and to make us enjoy these years that we have earned.
It's happening. The cat is out of the bag. There's nothing that's going to put it back, and it's going to happen. It's going to take time because this is complex stuff. It's going to happen.
Changes, changes, changes.